John Beaudin from Rock History Canada. Hello, everyone. More sad news. And our first live broadcast on this channel, we've certainly done it a lot on our big channel, Rock History Music, but this is the very first time we've ever done one on this channel. And it's a sad note with Ronnie Hawkins passing away. He was 87 years old. He received the Order of Canada in 2014, released a ton of albums, a lot of best ofs, but was a recruiter and a music mentor for so many musicians. I mean, some of the newspaper reports are going. Even Beverly D'Angelo from the Vacation movies was at one time in his band. But his wife Wanda confirmed. She told the Canadian press that he went peacefully and looked as handsome as ever after a long illness at 87 years old. We know him from a lot of songs like Bo Diddley's "Who Do You Love?" Young Jesse's Mary Lou, Ruby Baby, I remember that. Chuck Berry's 30 Days. In this case, Rompin' Ronnie called it 40 Days. And it was all those nicknames like Rompin' Ronnie, Mr. Dynamo, but most people knew Ronnie Hawkins as the Hawk, and his backup band, of course, was the Hawks. But a lot of the headlines are saying things like, "Hey, Melody, you're on our Canadian channel. Nice to have you here. Cross-border rockabilly legend." And I thought that was an appropriate thing, considering he was born in Huntsville, Alabama. When he was just under 10, he moved to Fayetteville. But the big move for Ronnie Hawkins, and it's the defining moments in people's lives, it was at the urging of Conway Twitty that basically told him, "Hey, you may want to tour Canada." And he had once said, as far as being here, he says, "I don't know anything about Canadian politics, the price of wheat, or Niagara Falls." He said it in a documentary, "But I sure know one thing. I sure dig it up here." There's something to be said about this country. It's a subject, of course, we'll talk about a lot on this channel in the next few weeks. We're going to start doing Today in History. And you look at Ronnie Hawkins, how much of a big part of Today in History he will be considering. Like we said, members of the band, Garth Hudson, Richard Manuel, Rick Danko, Robbie Robertson, Lee Von Helm were in his band. It was reported this morning that, like I said, Beverly D'Angelo played with them, David Foster, Lawrence Gowan, Pat Travers. He saw Pat playing in a bar in Canada in the 70s, early 70s, and he said, "Why don't you become a member of the band?" Late great Roy Buchanan in the early days. This is interesting. Robbie Robertson said in inducting him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, "We should thank Ronnie Hawkins in being so instrumental in us coming together and for teaching us the code of the road, so to speak." And that was during the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Kind of cool. He lived in the Peterborough area, and eventually kind of decided that he wouldn't go anywhere else. When you recruit that many musicians, and I said this in our other broadcast for Rock History Music, our big channel, like I said, that he just could spot good musicians, and that says something. When you see someone, you say, that guy, and as we said in the last broadcast as well, Greg Godovitz had told me from Gatto, he said, Ronnie in the later years wasn't always there during the recruiting sessions because, you get up in age and the band kind of takes you through it. But you have to have the equipment, you have to have the talent to basically play with Ronnie Hawkins. And a larger than life personality, right? Somebody who kind of knew who he was, lived the rock and roll lifestyle. But I knew I wanted to do something. I thought it's apropos for us to have our first live broadcast on Rock History Canada, that it would be about Ronnie Hawkins, one of the godfathers of the band, really. Bob Dylan had asked him to play him in a movie. He got into acting for a little while, just thought he'd do his thing. But anyway, may he rest in peace. A larger-than-life figure, personality-wise and musically as well. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Canada. Leave your comments. We'd appreciate it. Take care.